Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Inner Sanctum YouTube channel. I'm your host, Anthony Alessiani, and today I have 5 other special guests with me to go through Formula One's 2022 team liveries for this year. Brand new cars, brand new drivers in new teams, some new faces as well. And I thought I'd get some experts along with me to rank the liveries from 10 to 1. And I'm joined by a few special guests today. Dom Craniti, first of all. Hello, Dom. How are you, mate?
Doing good, mate. I'm very excited to see who everyone put as number 1 because there was a few very good options.
Number 2, Ben Velocci, mate. Good to have you on board.
Yeah, it's good to be here and keen to see as well where everyone will rank the cars because I think there are a few close calls, especially in the top 3 there.
Good. Can't wait to see who's in that top 3. Number 3, Ed Holland, mate. Good to have you on board.
G'day, mate. Good to join the team. Let's go racing.
4th, Lockie Onions, mate. You've been crying out to get this show on board. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, Anthony. Good. Looking forward to this. Can't wait for the new season. Hopefully, with these new, regulations, should be a really competitive season.
And finally, Thomas Hayes, mate. Welcome aboard to the F1 livery ranking. What are you looking forward to tonight?
Just to see where the boys have put the liveries, where we've ranked them, especially number 10, I reckon. But yeah, keen for the season in general.
All right, well, that's good. Good to have you on board tonight, lads. We have a good ranking system done and dusted. I've got you to rank your liveries from 10 to 1, and there were some variances in each of them. And most notably, number 10, I think this was the hardest one to pick. So we'll get straight into it. Number 10 is Haas. Dom, you can lead us off, mate. There's really nothing to like about Haas this year.
I mean, performance aside, this Haas car is it's the exact same as last year, really. And it's, there's a lot more to be said that can't be said, but it is just a basic car. And I think where we put them in this ranking is pretty reflective of where they'll be on the grid this year.
Ben, how did you feel about this one, mate? Haas, was that a hard pick for 10?
No, when I did my rankings, I started off straight with Haas at 10. I just think that it's very plain, just all white. I don't know. I just feel like they could have done a little bit more to sort of spice it up a little bit, considering that they are one of the teams lower on the grid to build some excitement. But I think it was an easy choice making that the number 10.
Ed, is there any positives about this Haas car?
Can I say no when we go straight to number 9?
Absolutely. Lockie, Thomas, anything to add, boys, on the Haas car? I think we're pretty much covered that.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's pretty basic. They could have done a bit more with the sponsors, I reckon. They've really made them really small, so I reckon they could have done a little bit more.
Fair enough.
Yeah, the only real thing to like it is the fact is they've got a decent driver with the last name Schumacher in it, but that's the only thing I'm looking forward to about Haas.
Yeah, they should just call it Schumacher F1, if I'm absolutely honest. We'll go straight to number 9. Now, I got a bit surprised when I added this up, boys. It's Red Bull. I was very surprised with how this worked out. And Thomas, I'll start with you, mate. What are you thinking? Red Bull at 9.
Obviously, I had it higher.
Yes.
But I reckon it's just because I think they've gone for the iconic look. They've got the same livery every year, or similar livery every year, I think. So I can see why people would have put it that low. But yeah, I reckon it's still a decent livery, like, besides the fact that they use it every year. Like, I never complain about it. I think with especially the new sponsor, Oracle, on the side as well, and they've changed up a little bit, but besides that, I wouldn't really complain. I wouldn't have put it 9.
Dom, this is the average. I've done it. It's averaged out with everyone's ratings. Are you a bit surprised?
Not at all. I had Red Bull in 9th. I think it was really hard to put them in 9th because it is, as Tom said, it's just such a classic look for the Red Bull team. I would have liked to seen something a little bit different on Verstappen's car, other than the number 1, maybe a little title or something, just to rub it in Hamilton a bit more. So, yeah, look, it's just, I think everyone changed so much and Red Bull stayed the same. I think that's why they're at 9th.
All right, let's go to number 8. And this one probably didn't surprise me. It was probably going to be on the lower end of the scale. It was Alpha Tauri. who came in at 8. And Ed, what do you think? Alpha Tauri this year?
I actually had them smack bang 8. Last year, the year before, actually the first ever Alpha Tauri, I reckon that was the best one. It was the top deck one. And then they reversed it. And then this year they kind of just made it a bit wacky. It doesn't really flow very nice at all. But yeah, there's plenty better this year.
Ben, mate, did you see the reveal video? Because I thought that was better than the livery.
I did catch the reveal video. It was a little bit strange, especially for F1 reveal. It's a bit confusing, but I actually don't mind the car too much. I didn't have it as low as that. I had it a little bit higher up. I do like that they've used the dark blue a bit more compared to last year was a lot more white. But yeah, I think I had it sort of into the middle in my rankings, but yeah.
All right, let's go to number 7. And at first, when I saw this one, we all saw a little bit of a leaked picture of it. It's the Alpine car at number 7. Lockie, tell us, mate, was there what was there to like about the Alpine livery this year?
Well, it's got a nice sort of. I do like how they've gone for 2 different, I guess, liveries. I mean, the main one, the blue. I do like the shade of blue. It sort of brings out the pink quite well. Which, I mean, it doesn't have that same sort of ugliness that the Force Indies or Racing Points had with the BWT pink sponsorship. I mean, it's not a terrible look. I think a lot of the cars this season actually look nice, but it's just not amazing either.
Yeah, it's a bang average livery, if you ask me. I didn't mind the pink, but I thought overall it was a bit. I thought it was actually a bit basic. I reckon they could have gone a bit more stripy or anything with the BWT livery, but yeah, Thomas, what do you think about the Alpine car, mate?
I reckon, especially with blue and pink, there's a lot that can go right and there's a lot that can go wrong. And they've obviously got a bit of the red as well, which doesn't really go as great with the pink. But another thing I want to say, the pink car that they will run in the first 2 races, I reckon is better than the actual car that they've got. Bit of Force India Racing Point vibe.
I think they should just bring back Force India at this rate. Coming in at number 6, do you know there was only one outlier who voted this car towards the bottom, but it's coming at number 6. It's Williams. Dom, what do you think about the Williams this year?
I think Williams have kind of, ever since they changed it last year, I think it's a representation of the team, going forward with this kind of youthful vibes and the rebuild of this, historic team. I love it, to be honest. It was tough leaving it outside the top 5, but I think they've smacked it out of the park. And yeah, I think it's a bit unfair that they're in 6. There's just so many good ones ahead of them.
Yeah, it's a sexy Williams. And Ed, did you catch the aero spray that was on the car during testing over the weekend? Because I'll tell you what, they could have ran with that livery this year.
Nothing fixes any livery more than aerospray. I think I just saw the McLaren before with it just now, and that looks good. But the Williams, when they released it, I loved it. And then, all these other cars kept coming out. And when you put it alongside all the other cars that have been released, it doesn't stand out as much as it does on its own. But I had it in my top 5. So was it 6? Came out 6?
Yes. Yep.
All right. Got to pick a war here, boys.
All right, boys. We're getting into the top 5 now. I'll throw it out there to anyone. Are you at all surprised with this bottom 5 liveries so far?
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised that Alpine was at 7, to be honest. I feel a little bit offended by my own personal choice because I had Alpine in the top 3, I believe. So just a little bit offended there. I absolutely loved it. So we might have to have a chat about that, boys, after.
Can I jump in and just say, I'm looking at my list and I see Alpine in 9th. So you can have a go at me if you like.
Yeah, we'll talk after this, don't worry.
Jeez, there's already a beef in the motorsport game already. All right, let's get straight into it. The top 5, and they won't be coming 5th this year. I think they'll be right up there a little bit higher, but 5th is Mercedes. Now they've gone back to the silver livery, the silver arrows. I think they're a little bit offended now that their black livery was lost to a Red Bull team. So I think they've gone back to that powerful arrows outfit. And Tommy, mate, tell me, what's there to like about the Silver Arrows car this year?
I'm going to be honest straight away and say I didn't have them this high. I put them 8th. I'll just say straight away. All right, so let's back up, right? So they brought out the renders, the Photoshop renders. Looked all right. I thought, gee, we got something on our hands here. And then they had the car in person, I believe, when they revealed it. And I don't know if anyone else noticed, but the back end of the car with TeamViewer logo and the arrows, they all kind of molded in together. I didn't really like the look of it. And then on track, it sort of went in the middle of those two. But yeah, I didn't really like it. I think the only thing that I can say positively about it is that the silver's back, and I do like that.
Ben, mate, what do you make of the Mercedes outfits a challenge for this year?
I was actually a bit disappointed that they went away from the black. I just thought that it looked so good the last 2 seasons in the all black and everything. I thought it was my favorite livery at the time. But I guess going back to the Silver Arrow, being called the Silver Arrows, it does make sense for the team. So I guess from that point of view, it probably does make sense. They did look pretty similar to the Red Bull as well. Last year, they were both pretty dark.
Yeah, I have to agree. I thought it was like, it looks good, but when you've got the liveries that are ahead of it, I think it's pretty basic, pretty standard, pretty Mercedes, if you ask me. They're probably going to put more of the effort into the pace rather than to how cool their car looks. But let's go to number 4, boys. And this one was very interesting to judge because there's a lot of outliers to the lower end of the scale, a lot that were right up there, and it's Aston Martin. Lockie, how about you take this one, mate? Aston Martin this year.
I don't mind it. It's. I had it a bit lower than some of the others, but again, it's a good-looking car. I mean, I'm very surprised it is below Mercedes because I think the Mercedes looks way better. It is better than last season's Aston Martin. I will give it that, but I'm still shocked that somehow you guys have ranked this lower than, better than the Mercedes because, yeah, I don't get how you guys have done it. This was a lot lower on my list.
This was, in my opinion, this was sex on wheels, but I've forgotten who did it. Who did number 1 Aston Martin?
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. I rate it. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I love they brought back the British racing green again. I thought it was perfect. And I think it was the first car that was revealed as well, and it was my favorite from the start. So maybe it's that first car you see, and that's why it's my favorite. But yeah, I love it, and I love that they brought back the original Aston Martin colours as well.
Yeah, completely agree. Dom, what do you make of the Aston Martin?
Well, back when I can't pronounce his last name, so apologies to him. But when he was back at Aston Martin, he said that they wanted something to pop on the TV screen because it did look very similar. It just blended in on the track, really. So they've done that absolutely great. I just feel like it's a bit too bland. It's kind of just, that one color going around. So, I didn't mind it last year when it had a little bit of that pink going through, a little bit of the Racing Point heritage going through it. So it pops off. It's a bit more brighter this year, but I didn't even have it in the top 7, I believe. I had it around 8. So, yeah, not the biggest fan, if I'm being honest.
Goodness me. This is why we've done a ranking system, because we are getting to the tail end. There's a lot of beef happening in this Zoom call. Let's go to number 3. Now, this one was very popular, and I'm a little bit surprised it wasn't higher up. McLaren. Yes, McLaren. That's right. A couple voted McLaren pretty low down the scale. A lot of 1s, 2s, and 3s, but there was a number 9. Who was number 9?
That was me again. I wasn't the biggest fan of the light blue they have on the back of the car. I just didn't think it really matched that well with the orange. But yeah, I don't know. I preferred the other liveries a lot more than the McLaren one. I know that with our boy Danny Rick races for them and everything, but yeah, I would prefer them to have a bit more orange in the car and less blue.
There was a number 1 for McLaren. Who was that?
That was me. I'm shocked. I thought this would be unanimous. I thought 10 and 1 would be unanimous. McLaren smashed this. This is the best one by miles. I'm really, really disappointed in you boys. I really thought better of you.
Lockie, what'd you make of it, mate?
For me, my opinion of it has been changing almost every day. When I first saw it, I absolutely loved it. Then I saw it at testing and I thought it looks terrible, but it is growing back on me again. And I mean, I do love the McLaren orange, and I do like that they put that bit of blue in there as well. That the lighter blue, I think it was like the golf heritage sort of thing, similar to the color scheme they had when they did that Monaco Grand Prix last year. It's a great car, but not my favorite.
Yeah, look, if I'm honest, when without the sponsorship on the side of the car, it does look a bit bland, and I think having that black aspect actually brings it out a lot more. And I do agree. I wish the rear wing was black, and the blue was probably filtered into somewhere else. But when I saw that first car review of the McLaren, I was like, yeah, no, that's a championship winning car. Give Ricciardo the trophy already. Let's go number 2. Now, it seems to be the one thing the Italians can do is win at livery challenges. And the Alfa Romeo has come in second. The last car to be revealed. And it seems to be fresh in everyone's mind because we've got a lot of 2s and 3s. There was a 6 and a 4, but it's come in second. Boys, I'm going to throw this out to Thomas. Mate, what do you make of the Alfa?
I think it's just like you said, that it's very fresh in my mind, and I've only seen positive things about it since it has been released, and I think it pops. I think the red's a little bit lighter than they had last year, which I think is a positive. It's definitely an upgrade from last season. And yeah, just looking at it now, it doesn't deserve to be on the car that it is, because I don't think it's going to be able to perform as well as I think it should look on track. But yeah, I had it number 3, so yeah, definitely up there for me.
Yeah, for a car that looks so good, it's not going to get a lot of TV time, I don't think. Ed, mate, what do you make of the Alfa Romeo? Do the wheel caps do it for you?
Look, I like the wheel caps, but you are panning to the man who had them at number 6 before everyone yells at me. I think they did as much as they could do without, if you're using red, you don't want to go like cross over Ferrari's borders. So I think they've done that, but I think it's just a stacked field, and there was just too many above them for me. But also a bit of recency bias from everyone else.
And we're going to have differing opinions. We'll have different attractions, and well, the Alfa Romeo is coming in second, which means that number 1 for 2022 on the new cars for Formula One, it's Scuderia Ferrari. Dom, kick us off, mate. What do you make of the Ferrari in 2022?
Well, as a very proud Italian, I'm just more than happy to see 2 Italian cars at the top of this list. But no, the Ferrari, it just takes you back, really. I think they lost their way in the last couple of years. They had that awful green sponsor last year. So look, there's just nothing wrong about this car. Simple, not too many different color designs. It's the best car on the grid. I had a number 1. I hope everyone else did.
Ben, what do you make of the Ferrari this year, mate?
Yeah, I was a big fan of the Ferrari car for sure. I think that they've gone back to I like the red. I think it's a bit sharper than what we've seen in previous years. And then obviously the back and front ring being all black, I think it just works perfectly. And yeah, I had them at number 2. So I think they definitely deserve to be, ranked number 1 for sure.
Ed, what do you make of Ferrari this year, mate?
No, honestly, as soon as you mentioned Ferrari, my AirPods cut out, and I was like, oh no. This is what I've been waiting all week for, to talk about how Ferrari have finally gotten it right. Like they had, I think, Dom, who, thinks Alpine is really good. He mentioned the Mission Renault that's disappeared this year. And they had that infamous green Mission Renault last year. And then they haven't been sure what to do with their black, with their numbering and everything this year. Oh my God, they finally got it right. So here's to winning a race for the first time in 2 years, Dom? 2 years?
Lockie, what'd you make of the Ferrari, mate?
Absolutely loved it. I had this as my number 1. The moment I saw it, it was my favorite. And even with the new liveries that have come out, it's still been my favorite. I love the black that they've got on the wings, and that it makes it look absolutely amazing. And I really hope we do see it up there challenging with the Red Bulls and the Mercs this season.
Thomas, mate, is this Charles Leclerc or is this Carlos Sainz championship winning livery?
Oh God, if I'm honest, as a McLaren fan, I'd like to see Sainz up there. But yeah, I think as everyone else has said, the black and the red, it's too good to pass up on. Yeah, very, very nice looking car. But yeah, I reckon Carlos Sainz, we'll see him up there.
All right. Just some final thoughts on the Ferrari from myself. If they brought back the 2000 to 2004 gloss red that Schumacher had in his championship winning days, this car would be the best thing in this century. But they've done an absolutely fantastic job. And in fact, besides Haas, everyone's done a pretty damn good job in 2022. Dom, give us some final thoughts, mate. The liveries this year, the new cars. Are you excited? Nervous? What are you feeling?
Well, I wouldn't have felt nervous until you brought that up. I am a little bit nervous for Daniel Ricciardo. Hopefully he doesn't get too outdone by Lando Norris, but that car is phenomenal. I'm still very disappointed no one else had it there. I think we're severely underrating a few liveries if we're talking about that. But I love seeing everyone's differing views, and it's good to see that we all had a common trend with the Alfas and Ferraris at 1 and 2.
Ben, what was one that surprised you this year for a livery?
It's probably the Williams surprised me a bit. I had that one up pretty high. I think it was in my top 5. It's 4th. I just really liked the blue and stuff, so I was a bit surprised it wasn't as high on everyone else's list. But yeah, definitely, that sort of top 2 definitely made sense. I thought, the Alfa and the Ferrari, I think that red, everyone seems to love it. So yeah, I think that the top 2 are sort of pretty clear standouts for me.
Lockie, mate, what's one car that you thought could have done better, but has still done a pretty good job this year?
I'd say if one that could have done better, still done a pretty good job, would probably be, I'd say the Alpha Tauri. Like, I really liked it. I think I had it in my top 3, but I think it just needed something a little bit different because they kind of do seem to be getting somewhat repetitive, like with that same sort of color scheme. They have changed it up a bit with a few different styles, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit more. That being said, the AlphaTauri was still one of my favorites this season.
And Tommy, mate, bring us home. Tell us what's one car that you didn't expect to do so well, but has gone above your expectations this year.
Yeah, I think as Ed said before, maybe a little bit of recency bias on this, but I think the Alfa Romeo definitely did not expect it to be as high as I did have it number 3, but definitely didn't expect that from them. And I don't think it's going to represent what they're going to be able to do on track, unfortunately. But yeah, I think Alfa Romeo for me is definitely a standout.
Yeah, I think it was the 3 o'clock in the afternoon Australian time release that probably did the job for them. But boys, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk about the F1 liveries this year. Plenty more to come on the Inner Sanctum YouTube channel and across Inner Sanctum for Formula One. We're only a couple of weeks away till the start of the season and only a month away to the Australian Grand Prix. And testing is next week as well, so pretty keen to stay up late and watch the boys track around Bahrain for about 6 hours. So that's going to be a lot of fun. To you guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight, and I look forward to seeing what we can do across the year for Formula One.